Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Migrant Tribe. Yeah, stories from our journey down under. And today is a special Australia Day episode 2021. And together with me is our tribe member, Joey. Say hi, Joey.
There you go. Hi, everyone. Happy
Okay,
Australia Day.
good, good. Okay, so we're now in episode 12. Um, a topic that we so fit to discuss today. Of course, it's about Australia. So it goes like this: Australia, the lucky country. I'm
Yes,
sure
it is.
many of the people out there have already heard about this term, Australia, the lucky country. Um, but I'll kind of give you a brief background on that term, the lucky country. It was coined by author Donald Horn in 1964. Back then, his intention was a bit sarcastic, like saying that Australia was a lucky country because its prosperity was mainly due to the country's natural advantage in wool. Okay, so I'm sure
It's
since then, the meaning of the lucky country is kind of evolved already. It means different things to different people. So let's hear and see what our friend Joey can say about Australia being the lucky country. Joey?
okay. Yes. You can really agree with that based on few facts that we have. Through the years, and the latest survey that had happened 2019 was um, three cities of Australia is the most livable part of that, which is Melbourne being number two, Sydney number three, and Adelaide being number 10. Um, in our experience as migrants here, um, I think the resources, the opportunities that we get as well, can you can factor that in terms in yes, you can really say that Australia is a lucky country. Um, and why would you even migrate in Australia and even stay if you don't believe that you're actually experiencing it, that it's a lucky country, right?
Yep.
And the next other thing that I would say, that Australia can still be considered really a lucky country, even though we are experiencing COVID,
Yep.
um, with the total of 222 countries all over the world. Sorry,
Yep.
let me correct myself. I believe 221. Uh, Australia is just on the 100 list ranking, or 50% of the luckiest that was able to handle or minimize the impact of COVID.
COVID. Yes. Yes. Considering
And
also,
it's
considering also like
the
uh, other con- other countries uh, were really affected. Other economies were really decimated because of COVID. I think we still did well. Yep.
Yeah, correct. And to validate that, Australia had been swiftly responding. It was able to minimize it. There's always. I mean, we were able to reduce, even clear some parts of the states of Australia. I think
Yep.
Western Australia still hasn't doesn't have COVID at all,
Yep. Yep.
and and then Victoria was able to get it down to zero for a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from that, the government had been also providing JobKeeper,
Yep.
any financial assistance in any way to keep the economy afloat.
Yep.
Yes, there's still a down. I mean, there's a bit of downturn. Everyone can say. I mean, we cannot deny that there would be impact on some few people, or there's a number of employees that were actually retrenched or actually stand down
Mm-hmm.
because of the lockdown.
Yep.
But it opened also a lot of opportunities to And eventually, right now, there's so many so many opportunities working remotely. If
Yes.
everyone, I mean, is actually looking for opportunities right now, this have paved the way on a lot of businesses right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and how it adjusted, it's more open for your personal life or life work life balance, they as they say, because
Yep.
if you're able to work at home, I mean, and then what they need to do is just, I mean, maybe bring your kids in to the I mean to school, and then you come back and work at home again. Or yeah, I mean, I think there's so many things that has there's a silver lining, shall I say, on this pandemic. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely. I I guess it's safe to say there was none of not too many countries were really prepared. I think prepared. As we know, this is kind of like a once in a lifetime pandemic. But yeah, of course our response of Australia, of course, it's not perfect. Definitely far from being perfect, but I think it's still a lot better than how other countries were able to handle this pandemic, and I'm happy. I'm happy. At the very least, I don't see any of our hospitals, even at probably at its highest point during the pandemic, our hospitals were never overwhelmed. Okay, if you notice that, unlike the stories that I'm hearing from other countries, where they had to choose which patient to attend to because there just wasn't enough. And I, well, of course, touch wood. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
we never get to that point. Okay.
To that point,
Okay.
yes.
Thanks, Joey, for pointing out those things why you think Australia is a lucky country. As for me, so you've kind of touched upon it already a bit about Australia being having a very resilient and
Mm-hmm.
economy.
Mm-hmm.
If you recall, back in 2008, there was a global financial crisis, and Australia was never affected by that. They just weren't. We're not.
I think
And
the dollars were actually skyrocketing at that time, wasn't
yes, yes, I remember. I kind of remember it was. We were even almost equal to the U.S. dollar back. I think around that time, and also back then, around that time also. Ah, also in the last
if I'm
probably
not
20,
mistaken. Sorry,
in the last
if I'm not
25
mistaken, I
years.
think dollars,
Yes,
Australian dollars, went up to our to US. If I'm not mistaken.
I remember. Yeah, a couple of years back. A couple of years back. Okay,
Mm.
and as I was saying also, um, there was Australia was also in a streak. I think for at least 25 years, where we never experienced a recession, and it was only during the 2020 pandemic, because of the pandemic, of course, yeah, our economy was still also affected, that there was what we could consider a recession here in Australia. Okay,
Mm.
so our economy is very good. So another one I can probably throw in out there about Australia being a lucky country is because Australia is surrounded by water, oceans.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have borders with other countries. So this kind of limited whatever conflict we may have with other countries.
Mm-hmm.
I did a bit of research. I guess the last time a country kind of invaded Australia was back in World War II. And the Japanese tried to invade
Yeah.
Darwin, but that was a long time ago. But I guess so. It's kind of like a natural barrier for us, protection for Australia, and also because we are surrounded by water, the government was able to control the people coming in to Australia. As you know, we were able to control those people who are legitimately or legally allowed, for at least for most part, to enter the country. Okay. And I think in so we have such a large land area, and considering that we only have a population of 25 million, so considering, so we have more space for everyone. Okay. So
Right.
put it
Right.
that way. Okay.
Okay.
And another thing I can say about Australia being a lucky country is, um it's a very multicultural country. It's so dynamic, different cultures from Asians to Europeans to Africans, and I think that's a very good way to build a strong society, wherein you're able to mix all these people into one society, and each will learn from each one. And yeah,
Yeah.
and definitely yes, I would consider that as a plus for Australia being a lucky country.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, so pretty much that's it. And also to add to the quality of life, here in Australia, at least there's that at least basic quality that you'll get. Number one, the one is peace and order. You know, it's always a given. Okay, so in a country like Australia, you don't hear any like local politicians taking over certain geographic
Right.
areas, like
Yeah.
there are small kings or queens or something in their own area. That's unheard of. People here in Australia generally we still follow the law.
Mhm.
People still follow the law, and which is great. Which is great. There's still law and order here. Yeah. Anything else? Do you want to add,
Oh,
Joey?
one thing I could actually add, since I'm in construction, right?
Yep.
Um, there is some impact. We can still consider that. I mean, Australia is still a lucky country, although there's an impact in construction.
Yep.
But construction is actually the main backbone or of most workers in Australia. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and how we handled it in a way that yes, there are times that we were able to, or we actually had to stop. I mean, being on site or reduce the site,
Mm-hmm.
but they are still constructions that are going, and there's so many projects that had been approved
Mm-hmm.
that are going to continue. Uh, and it's there's shall we say, um, we're looking into progressing,
Mm-hmm.
not really sticking on whatever it is what's happening right now. COVID was just, yes, it has. I mean, it's almost a year now
Mm-hmm.
that when it started, but how we're recovering, I think we are on the right track, and obviously, I mean, there's nowhere else to go, but
Up. Yep.
uh, I mean, you might as well just stay in Australia. I mean, what's the best thing? I mean, if you want to go home to your own home country, how
Yep.
much how much impact is the COVID anyway?
Yep.
So we're
Just,
still we're still gonna stay with it. So
I'm just
hey,
curious, Joey. With those projects that you said that there's still people building, are those private or more public, or do you
um,
think, or there's an equal share of projects coming out from from both segments?
well, there are different government projects out there. Okay, like infrastructures, railways,
Mm-hmm.
level crossing removals, grand
Uh,
or airports.
yep.
So
Yep.
imagine that. Why would you even open up, or open up regional airports?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning to say, we are looking at really growing. The country is still
Yep.
growing,
Going.
even though
This
that's
okay.
this case.
Despite the situation, you still have to look forward. You have to, you can't just let go of the future that easily.
Yes.
Despite the situation. And yeah, and yes, I believe that infrastructure is construction is the way to go. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not economist. We're not economists,
No,
but
we're not. We're not.
I mean,
Far from it.
but just so I mean, our point that we're sharing here is that we believe that Australia is a lucky country
Yep.
due to the I mean, firsthand information that we get. We experience it as migrants here.
Yep.
I think the veracity of information is actually out there, but well. Uh, Enjoy Australia Day. The most important thing.
Yep.
It's time for us to actually reflect,
And
and being resilient, and then recover.
correct. Correct. Okay. So to kind of wrap it up, um, uh, I guess we can also do it the other way around. That we are also lucky to be in Australia, not just simply Australia being lucky.
Mhm.
As we've all mentioned, but still, at the end of the day, we still create our own luck. Uh, like what I said, Australia kind of just gives you that basic, but you still have to work very hard. Don't get us wrong. In this country, you still have to work very hard to achieve anything. But the good thing
Mhm.
is, Australia allows you at least the very basic things. Will allow you the right opportunities. You just have to look for it and work on it. Okay, if
By
nothing
the way,
else. So again, thank you again for our viewers for watching us, and please continue watching us. Subscribe to our channel, and okay, goodbye everyone.
okay.
Bye.
Bye.